All right, my angels, y'all wanted a yacht party story time. Here is the yacht party story time to end all story times. I haven't shared this yet because I had to sign an ironclad NDA when I had gone to this party, like many of the parties that I have gone to. However, I did check with a lawyer to see what exactly I could share, so I'm going to share with you everything I can, all the details of it and what happened, because it was absolutely insane. I cannot wait for the naysayers to come for me being like, oh my God, this didn't happen. But yes, like every single one of my insane stories and the lives that I've lived, everything is 100% true. So when I was 18, I had booked my first Miami Fashion Week. I was living in New York and I was very excited because I had booked my first fashion show week and I was going to be walking, and it was a very, very big deal. And I was also going to go and attend a bunch of parties while I was there. While I was living in New York at the time, there was a model that was a few years older than me. We're going to call her Sarah. Now, Sarah was very up and coming and she had been booking all these insane campaigns, and I had met her randomly at a party for her agency. She and I became friends because she was just very cool. She had like a very, very interesting, chill vibe, and we had some of the same mutual friends, and she just kind of took me under her wing a little bit. So I had started partying with her, and she was also going to be in Miami for Fashion Week. So she was like, look, when we go, I'm going to take you all the best parties. I'm going to introduce you to all the best people. And I was like, okay, bet, queen, because I was just this young baby model trying to get into the scene. Miami Fashion Week rolls around. We go, all the models are staying in this amazing big house with a bunch of us from my agency specifically, and Sarah calls me and she's like, hey, look, there is a yacht party that is being thrown by this very big celebrity and I would like you to be there. I'm like, okay, bet. And she's like, every single person that you've ever heard of, anyone is going to be there. I need you there. I'm like, great. And I'm like, hey, can I bring a couple models from my agency? And she's like, yeah, just send me their comm cards. I'm like, wait, you need me to send you comm cards from my model friends to go on this yacht party, but you're not a casting director, you're another model? Like, what is this? It's so weird. But I'm like, okay. So I had two other models that were my two friends that were also in Miami Fashion Week, that were also with my agencies. And I sent Sarah their pictures and sent her all their information. And she was like, okay, you guys are approved. The day of the yacht party comes. It is strictly a white party. The invite literally said that if you wore any sort of color, you were not allowed on this mega yacht. I was like, guys, make sure that you have nothing of color, not even your underwear, because I ain't trying to get booted from this big ass mega yacht. I was wearing a off-the-shoulder sheer white dress that was kind of like drapey in the middle and then tight on the bottom. Y'all know those late 2000s vibes, I know. And my two other girlfriends, one was wearing like a strappy white tank dress and then a tube dress. We're all wearing white heels because Sarah was like, do not wear flats. I'm like, okay. I was wearing my hair in these long, big bombshell waves, and my two girlfriends were wearing little updos. A driver comes and picks us up from the house and takes us to the yacht. Y'all, this yacht was the biggest thing I had ever seen in my entire life. I mean it. Like, I was actually incensed with how big this yacht was. I didn't even realize that they had yachts this big. Like, I had been on friends' yachts in Dallas with like my rich private Christian school friends, but this was 4 stories high, gold trimmed, white. It had all these like big blue lights. We get on and I could not believe that there was Victoria's Secret models and A-list celebrities, and they're including a bunch of tech billionaires and people that you have heard of. We get on there. I find Sarah. She's like, oh my God, you're here. Like, let's go around. I'm going to introduce you to people, blah, blah, blah. We're walking around and there are 4 levels, like I said. The very below level was where all the bedrooms were. The second level was like where all the main food and everything was. There were like tables where you could like have a formal dining table, and there was a buffet, and then there was a pool on the deck and a helipad right in front of it. The third level was kind of like where the main party was, where it was like a dance floor and stuff, and people were up there doing party favors. And then the very, very top level was kind of like a little lookout thingy. We're on the level with all the food. We're walking around. Bunch of models there who are literally like 6 feet tall. Some of them look like they were just flown in from literally heaven. I'm like, wow, everyone's stunning there. I didn't know who the celebrity owner of this yacht was. Finally, Sarah's like, oh, look, there is. And I go, oh my God, it's so-and-so. And she goes, yes. He's the owner of this yacht. I'm like, holy shit. Now, this celebrity is and was a very big time celebrity, but he is still very rich and still very famous. He's standing there with 3 other very A-list celebrities. And I'm like, holy shit. This was the elite of the elite. Walking us around, she's like getting us some champagne. We're drinking champagne. We're kind of like talking to people. She's like, oh, there's someone that I really want you to meet. I'm like, okay, great. She takes me over to this like 60-plus-year-old balding white man who is like 5 feet tall and looks like he has probably never seen moisturizer or SPF in his life. And he had like the reddest nose and it was all cratery. You know what I'm talking about? And I was like, oh, and she was like, yeah, this is so-and-so. We're going to call him Ralph. She's like, this is Ralph. He is a billionaire from this Eastern European country. And I'm like, oh, hi. And she's like, yeah. he's been wanting to meet you. I've been telling him about you. I'm like, okay. And she's like, I thought you guys could get to know each other. I'm looking at Sarah like, why the hell are you trying to introduce me to this old ass man? But I'm like, okay, because I'm, again, trying to like be in her good graces. And I know that she has a plan for everything she's doing. She tells me she's going to introduce me to people that are important, that are going to help me in my career, that are going to be really good. I go on sitting on the couch with him. This man, y'all, has, you know, when someone is talking and they have that white film here and it's just like very spitty, and then he was like spitting while he was eating. He was literally eating these shrimp cocktails and chucking the shrimp tails behind him, just into the ether, nowhere. This man proceeds to tell me his life story about like all his accolades, basically his whole LinkedIn page. He is this billionaire that comes from a long line of billionaires. And he tells me that he just cannot get over how much he thinks that I look like his childhood babysitter. I'm like, where was your babysitter friend? And he's like, oh, she was half Thai. I'm like, oh, well, I'm a quarter Thai. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. He's like, yeah, you just remind me so much of her. She was half Thai, half white, and like, you're just so beautiful that you look like her, and like, your skin is so soft like hers. He was like, kind of trying to like touch my arm, and I was kind of like, and he was like, look, I really want to show you below deck. I want to show you my collection of cigars, because I was talking about how I grew up around cigars because my dad owned a restaurant and he would smoke cigars and I really like the smell. And he was like, oh, I have a bunch of really nice cigars in the room that I'm staying in down below deck. I'm going to take you down there. I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of like cool up here. And he's like, no, like it'll be fine. I'm looking for my 2 girlfriends, right, that I brought with me. I can't find them. The yacht is huge. I'm like, where are they? I'm trying to text them, but they're not texting me back. And I'm like wondering where the hell they are. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm good. And he's like, no, come on. Like, it'll take a second. Like, let's go. Y'all, I already knew that this was against my better judgment, but I was 18 and young and dumb. So I was like, okay, let me just go down for a quick little peek. I'll get like a nice little cigar and then I'll run back up. We go down, rows and rows of nice ass rooms. On the outside of each of the rooms, they had these like big gold knockers with the numbers on it. We walk over and he's in room 11. I remember specifically the room number because of the way that the ones looked on the outside. They looked like 2 little snakes, kind of like this. He's like, this is my room. He opens it. I walk in and the room is probably maybe like 500 square feet. I mean, it wasn't very big, but it was super nice. All mahogany, very, very lit up, all chandelier glass and gold and just incredibly, incredibly fancy. And his initials were monogrammed on the bed. I was like, did this man that owns the yacht, this celebrity, literally monogram all of his guests that were staying in this yacht on their pillows? Like, what's happening? He's like, yeah, this is the room that I always stay in whenever I'm on so-and-so's yacht. I'm like, cool, great for you. So he goes over and he opens this little compartment that's like a press compartment, and it opens up to this incredible humidifier with a bunch of really nice cigars. He's like, oh, he starts talking about them. He's like, this is this one from this year, blah, blah, blah. I know a lot about cigars, so I was like, oh, I do know a lot of these brands. So we're like looking at it, and he's taking them out, and he's kind of smelling them. He's kind of letting me see them. I'm like, wow, okay, maybe this man is not as creepy and weird as I thought he might be. He's like, hey, I'm going to just prepare one for you so you can try some. Why don't you sit down? The only place to sit down in this room was on the bed. There were no chairs. There was no desk, nothing like that. So I just sit down on the bed, and I'm just kind of looking out the little window peephole outside of the yacht. I'm just kind of looking out there, and I just suddenly feel someone start massaging my shoulders. And I'm like, oh. And he was like, oh, you feel really tense. And I'm like, oh, I don't need a massage. I'm actually like very not into massages because my bones, I can't like take a lot of pain. And he was like, oh, okay. And he's like, maybe you want to give me a massage. And I'm like, no, I'm not really good at massages. My fingers, you know, they're very bony. They're very stickly. They're not great for massages. I've been told by many ex-boyfriends that I'm not good. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he sits down and we start chatting and he's talking about the cigar. And then he just looks at me and he's like, you know, Leah, my old babysitter, I always thought about her lips and how they looked, and they look just like yours. Y'all, red flags going off in my head. I'm like, oh God, I'm in trouble. He looks at me, and this man with his white spitty ass mouth opens it and tries to kiss me. I don't know what to do. So I don't move. I'm frozen. He kisses me, and I realize that I need to get the hell out of there. So I move very quickly, and he's like, don't worry, babe. He's like, calm down. Like, you're fine. I'm like, no, I'm not fine. I actually need to go back upstairs. I actually need the restroom. And he's like, oh, there's a restroom right over here. I'm like, no, I'm good. And so he proceeds to try to convince me that he is really needing a massage, and he starts taking off his jacket. I'm like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. I think I need to go. And he's like, look, I know that you're an up-and-coming model, and Sarah had highly recommended you, saying that you were a very cool girl, that you were very nice, and that you are very entertaining. And I'm like, thank you. And he's like, yeah, I like you. You make me laugh. I'm like, thanks. I'm just here for the jokes, not for anything else. And then he is like, kiss me. I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And he's like, what are you here for then? I'm like, I came down here to get cigars with you. And he's like, come on now. So then he's like still trying to kiss me, y'all. Like this old ass man with his spitty ass mouth. I'm like, no, right? Ladies, if you're ever in a situation like this, never, ever, ever feel like you need to stay in this situation. I did not know exactly what to do. So I froze and he just goes, look, if you're not going to let me kiss you, will you at least let me finish on your yes? And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like touching the area on himself. And I'm like, oh my God, I get out of there. So I stand up. I'm like, I really got to pee. I run out the door. As I'm running out the door, he's like, wait. I shut the door behind me and the little snakes are rattling, right? When I shut the door on the 11th. I run down the hallway. I'm running down the hallway. As I'm turning the corner, there's a stairwell. I hear two men talking. And one of them goes, yeah, well, it's going to be hours till we get to Cuba. And then we can just like stay there till the night because so-and-so, Yachtman's friend, one of the other celebrities, has a house there. And the dude's like, yeah, that'll be great because we can just all party there for the next couple days. I'm realizing, wait a minute. Cuba, hold on, no, I was told that we were just sailing around casually in the ocean, in the Miami Ocean. Suddenly, alarm bells are really going off, y'all. And I'm thinking, Cuba, hold on, I don't know about this. This is feeling very trafficky and scary. I've also just had this man that just accosted me saying that he wanted to do things with his man bits inappropriately on my body. And I was like, oh no, I need to get out of here. I turn the other way. I run back the other back stairs, past the 11 room. Homie opens the door as I'm running by. He's like, hey, come back in here. I ignore him. I run back up the stairs and I go and I'm trying to find Sarah. I'm like running around. Everyone on this yacht is completely blasted now, y'all. Everyone is 3 sheets to the wind on party favors. They're drunk. Models sitting in all these tech billionaires' laps. I see a Victoria's Secret model sitting in between 2 Chinese billionaires that are like half the size of her. And she's laughing and taking shots with them. And I see her throwing the shot over her shoulder. I'm like, damn, she's a pro. I'm running over. I'm looking for Sarah. I'm texting her. I'm like, where are you? I'm texting my friend. I'm like, where are you guys? They text me. They're like, hey, we're over upstairs near the dance table. I'm like, great. I run up there. I go to the dance table. I'm like, y'all, we got to get off this freaking boat because first of all, this Russian man just tried to accost me and do something very inappropriate with me. And then also, I just heard that this is going to freaking Cuba. And they're like, what? I'm like, yes, we need to get off of here because I'm scared now. And they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I'm texting Sarah. I don't know where she is, right? I'm freaking out because now I don't know who we can trust on this boat because the only person that I know is Sarah, who's nowhere to be found, and then my 2 friends that I came with. And there are a ton of celebrities here that I don't trust or know, including models, people that you've seen on TV, and I'm scared. I get on my phone and I'm thinking about like who I can text that might be able to help us out. One of my friends who is a sports heir, he is the son of a very prominent figure in a type of sport that uses your hands. And I text him and we're going to call him Jace because I knew that Jace's dad had a house in Miami and he also had a yacht. And I text him, I'm like, dude, do you know if your dad is out on his yacht today? Because here's the situation. Jace texts me back immediately. He's like, wait, what? Whose yacht are you on? I tell him. He's like, girl, you got to get off that party now. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that is like a known thing where they take models to Cuba and then you're in another country and who knows what happens at this house. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. He's like, hold on, I'm going to call my dad. I'm going to call you right back. I'm like, great. He's calling his dad and I'm sitting there with the girls and I look over and I see 2 dudes who look like they are from some sort of prominent mob family looking at us and kind of smiling. And they're like waving. I'm like, oh no, we don't want to go over there. I'm like, we got to go hide somewhere until Jace texts me back. They're like, okay. So we run over and there's these bathrooms that are over near the pool, near the helipad. We go into one of the bathrooms and we're in there. And there is people everywhere laughing. We can hear them doing things, doing each other. It is just pandemonium and loud music and laughing and chaos. We're in there and I am literally panicking. We are about to go into some random international waters. We are with a bunch of very powerful and rich people that we don't know and we don't trust. My girlfriends are like freaking out, right? One of my girlfriends is hyperventilating. She's like, oh my God, I took something from someone and now I'm having a bad trip. I'm like, oh God, girl. I look at her. Her eyes are like Nemo. She's losing it. I'm like, okay, we need to get her some water. I run out to quickly go get water. As I'm hiding, I'm like trying to find water from one of the waiters. I'm like, can I get some water? And he gives me this bottle, a huge one of Fiji water. As I'm walking back, I feel someone grab my arm. I turn, it's Sarah. She's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, girl, I've been texting you. She's like, what happened to the guy? Like, where is he? I'm like, girl, he was down there and he was trying to like do stuff with me. And she's like, what kind of stuff? I'm like, he was trying to, on my, and she's like, oh, did you let him? I'm like, no. And she's like, well, you're lucky that he didn't try to have with you. And I'm like, girl, I don't want to do any of those things. And she's like, know that he owns like a bunch of properties and like studios and he's like very, very big time. I'm like, girl, I don't care. I'm like, I got to get off this freaking boat because I just heard that we're going to Cuba. And she was like, oh yeah, I told you about that. She's like, so-and-so, one of the celebrities has a house there. I'm like, ew, no, I can't go to Cuba, girl. And she's looking at me and she's all messed up too. Her eyes are also saucer. She's like, you need to relax, Kat. Just come for a little snow ride and like, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, girl. I literally break out of her grasp. I get the water and I run back to the bathroom to my friends. I go in there, I give the water to my friend. Finally, Jace texts me back. He's like, hey, my dad is going to send his helicopter with his pilot to pick you up because that boat has a helipad. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Your dad is going to like airlift our asses out of here? He's like, absolutely. His house is nearby and he's going to send his pilot with a helicopter. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Also, this is so dramatic. He was like, stay together, stay there under the deck, keep your eye out because it's going to be coming in the next 20 to 45 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, this cannot come soon enough. We're in there. My friend is tripping out. She is very quickly stumbling into the land of no return. And I am waiting there with the water and just freaking out because also we're about to make a huge scene with this helicopter landing on this freaking yacht, right? We're waiting for what feels like hours, but I think it was like 30 minutes. And I have the door a little bit cracked, but I keep closing it because I don't want someone like coming into the bathroom. And at one point I have it cracked and I hear noise above the music. My friend texts me, Jace, he's like, okay, it should be there soon, so just make sure you're ready. I open the door, I see the helicopter in the sky coming down onto the helipad. The water that's in the pool next to it is going everywhere, and people are like, what the hell is going on? People are kind of like just watching it and being like, oh, it's coming, but they're also not freaking out because I feel like they thought that it was some famous person that was like landing on there and just entering the party. So people actually didn't think it was a bigger deal than I thought they were. Me and my girlfriend grab our sick friend. We grab her over and we are running towards the helicopter. At one point, I remember that I very distinctly had a very bad intrusive thought that what if I got sliced by one of these blades while we were trying to make our escape and how horrible that would be and all this effort came for nothing. We have our stuff. We're running over. The crew is like ushering us on. We get strapped in. I'm looking at everyone looking at us. There's just a few people on the area where we are just kind of looking at us. Everyone else is like in the party and enjoying it and not really actually paying attention. There's just some onlookers. I think definitely people thought that someone was being dropped off and not airlifted out. We get in, we get strapped in. My friend is literally like about to throw up. I'm like, girl, you better put your head off the side. We're lifting off, and as we're above, I remember viscerally looking down and just looking at the yacht and seeing the people down there and all the little white outfits and thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe that we just escaped this because this could have been incredibly terrible. This could have been the end of my life or my career. But yeah, we were airlifted off like uber comfort. I don't have any regrets regarding it. My friend and his dad, I am really good friends to this day with them, and we talk about this story all the time. These yacht parties are very infamous and they are very known. After that, I did not go on any other mega yacht parties after that. I did not hear about what happened to this yacht party after because, again, everybody signed a very ironclad NDA. But I can tell you this is that it was dark, and Sarah, after that, she stopped talking to me, which was fine. She is somebody that I had my first foray and look into the dark side of modeling and the industry. So I have more stories from Miami Fashion Week on this trip, actually. So let me know if you guys want to hear those. I love you and I see you. Big hug, big kiss.